battles third world politics, shrinking deadlines, and even deadly hurricanes in an attempt to save the life of Muchacho, the Jaguar.
If we had not gone when we did, not gone down and set up this rescue mission, this cat would be euthanized today.
Then we go down under for a rare species of the rhino, the armor-plated wrecking machine called the Greater One-Horn.
What we needed to consider when bringing in this one-horned rhino is the difference in their needs, the difference in what we need to achieve to exhibit their diet.
Finally, a boutique zoo risks all in a new exhibit to bring the enduring red panda to Tennessee.
You almost applied for red pandas, and the head coach said, hey, we're going to build this fabulous new exhibit, and if you could just get us a female, we can really take off with this program.
We found the best zoo habitats on the planet and brought them together in one place, in a world we call the ultimate zoo. The jaguar is the largest cat species in the Western Hemisphere. Rarely seen in the wild, the solitary jaguar is marvelously adept at moving through the dense rainforest of South America without detection. But now, with increasing encroachment on its land, the jaguar numbers are in decline. So how did one zoo attempt to recreate this overgrown landscape and save a wild jaguar in Peru from being killed, while also enduring the cataclysm of 2 deadly hurricanes? That's the enduring story of Muchacho, and one of the newest and finest jaguar exhibits on the planet is Palm Beach Zoo's Tropics of the Americas. The Tropics of the Americas is a multi-habitat exhibit that simulates the dramatic rainforest landscape of Central and South America. Here, a variety of native animals including bush dogs, giant anteaters, tapirs, and capuchin monkeys thrive in an authentic rustic terrain, and all within the shadow of the forest's most feared predator, the jaguar. Spanning over 6,500 square feet, the Jaguar exhibit includes this Mayan temple night house, as well as 2 outdoor enclosures, each providing a lush environment where the 4 jaguars could stalk, climb, and swim, just as they would do in the wild, and all largely within the view of the public. For Director of Living Collections, Keith Lovett, creating such a habitat that accommodated both the jaguar's needs as well as the zoo's was a monumental feat. Responsible for both horticulture and animal care at the zoo, Keith had always been fascinated by jaguars. Still, when presented with this project nearly a decade earlier, he knew that this was an extremely challenging species most zoos were hesitant to touch.
The jaguar as a species is a very elusive animal. These are animals that spend a lot of time in forested areas, and they're very good at camouflaging themselves. A lot of times you won't see a jaguar. The jaguar will be watching you. You don't realize the jaguar's there.
Still, for Keith, the prospect of creating such a habitat was a thrill he couldn't pass up. And in 1997, the zoo and architects from Torrey Design Consortium began work on the new enclosure. But then, there was a new development.
While in the process of designing the exhibit, it came to the zoo's attention that there was a jaguar in Peru that was in desperate need of a home. A private owner in Peru had this animal as a pet, and unfortunately they weren't able to take care of the animal anymore, and in some regard they abandoned the animal.
The flight of Muchacho, the wild-born jaguar, struck a chord with the keepers, and the staff quickly pooled their own money to help improve his diet. Soon, the entire zoo was involved and on a mission. Ultimately, Muchacho needed a home that could handle his complex needs, and Palm Beach knew just the place.
So we started working with the officials down in Peru. His enclosure was very small. It was barely holding the cat whatsoever. So we put the money into fixing that. While we were doing this, we started working on the permit process.
Back at home, the exhibit was moving forward, but now it had a proverbial face attached. This was to be Muchacho's house, a place they hoped would offer him a dynamic landscape where he could remain active all day.
We know in the wild, the jaguars, they don't sit still in a very small space, so we need to give them an abundance of space so the cats would feel comfortable in their environment. Not only do we give them space, we made it a very vegetated space. With the wild jaguars in a very forested area, so we try to replicate that, providing vegetation that was found throughout the regions that jaguars are found in.
Water was also a critical element in Muchacho's native landscape. So here, designers incorporated a complex river system that snaked through the overgrown environment before emptying into a 500 square foot pool. With landscape and pool designs complete, there was only one final challenge left in the Jaguar's jungle. Muchacho needed vertical climbing space. Here, huge deadfall trees were added throughout the habitat. Then, the design team turned to the extensive rock work on the pyramid buildings. While typically such a building would be for show, here it would be an integral part of the habitat, providing both climbing space for the jags and a shady alcove for resting. Only problem, it also created an entirely new set of challenges. Considering the jaguar's incredible strength and an ability to jump at least 6 feet, they had to make sure that Muchacho didn't leap off his perch into the visitor areas or prey habitats, creating a tragic situation for the jaguar or the public. So, to ensure everyone's safety, the zoo covered the entire expanse with a giant 5,000 square foot stainless steel mesh canopy.
Jaguars have very strong jaws, but this is actually stronger than the jaw. And by having this type of mesh installed, it keeps the jaguars in. Not only do we have the mesh on the walls, we have the mesh on the ceiling as well, because this is a cat that's a great climber. So we need to enclose the entire exhibit.
Muchacho's future home at the zoo was coming together. Down in Peru, though, his current life had become an even bigger nightmare. Muchacho was scheduled to be euthanized, and without a proper permit in hand, there was nothing the Palm Beach Zoo could do to stop it.
We expected to be a lot of permits and a lot of red tape, but we never expected the amount of red tape that was involved. Unfortunately, we would get a signature on one permit and permission from one entity, and the next thing we know, we had to get a permission from someone else. Luckily, the Palm Beach Zoo has a lot of contacts.
The zoo worked their contacts, and just days before officials planned to kill the big cat, the red tape was lifted. Muchacho was saved. Within days, Muchacho arrived in Miami and was ferried to the Palm Beach Zoo, where he entered a mandatory quarantine. And here, while the vets treated him for malnourishment, he quickly made up for lost time.
When Muchacho came in from Peru, the first thing we do, all the animals come into the zoo, they go through a quarantine process. So he was in a holding situation at the zoo in quarantine. What's interesting enough, we also had a female around, and this was the first time he had seen a female in a very long time.
That female was Nabalon, and while the complex exhibit was still far from finished, the two quickly bonded in the holding facilities. Later, when she was in estrus, the two solitary cats were put in together. And soon, Nabalon was pregnant. Muchacho had gone from being an abused pet on the brink of being euthanized to becoming the father of what was hopefully the first litter in the zoo's state-of-the-art Jaguar exhibit. By the end of 2003, after more than 6 years of design and construction, the Tropics of the Americas was nearing completion. Soon, Muchacho, Nabalon, and 2 newborn cubs would be introduced to the new exhibit. As Muchacho's rags to riches story was just getting better, it was about to take a nightmarish turn. Coming up, hurricanes rumored at Category 5 strength rage off the coast of Florida, as Muchacho and his family must run to shelter. What will happen to their new home when the deadly storm slams into the zoo? Find out when Ultimate Zoo continues.